Belgian history is one of being owned by people, then being owned by other people, and then being owned by more people. But most importantly, waffles. There are a couple jumping off points for the quote-unquote start of Belgian history, but I'm going to begin in 57 BC when the Romans conquered the modern-day territory of Belgium. This territory was known as Gallica Belgica. After the Western Roman collapse, Belgian territory fell to the Franks, and the capital of Tournai was established. When the Franks collapsed, Flanders grew in power. These people would eventually become the first Belgians. This is the history of Belgium, in 5 minutes or less. In the 11th century, Flanders emerged as a territory not part of France, but rather vassals to the French king. During the 12th and 13th centuries, wool trading in Flanders became very successful by using cloth imported from England and then exported to other nations. However, since Flanders was still a vassal to France, the French king was a bit angry that Flanders was importing cloth from England, as England and France had a long history of not getting along. In 1302, a craftsman refused to pay tax, so the French garrisoned the town. And in response to this, a butcher led a rebellion, where anyone who could not pronounce the Flemish words schild and vriend were killed. I guess I'm getting killed. I wish I could tell you what those words meant, but Google Translate doesn't support Flemish, so, After many French people were butchered, see what I did there? The French sent in reinforcements, but Flemish peasants covered up the marsh with shrubbery, and the French rode into the marsh and then were killed. After that embarrassing defeat, the French finally recognized the independence of Flanders. Flanders got its independence in 1302, and in 1377 Margaret of Flanders married the Duke of Burgundy. After the Count of Flanders' death in 1385, Flanders became a part of Burgundy. They were independent for a grand total of 83 years. Good job, guys. In 1477, the heiress of Burgundy married Maximilian of Austria, so Flanders came under Austrian control. There's going to be a lot of switching here, so from here on out I'm going to refer to Flanders as Belgium because that's essentially what it is. Maximilian's grandson became ruler of Austria, Spain, and Belgium, but after his death his realm was divided, and Belgium came under Spanish rule in 1566. Not too long after this, Europe discovered Protestantism, and some people thought it was pretty cool, but Belgium didn't really care. They just kept making waffles. Things changed a bit, however, when Charles II of Spain died without an heir, and thus began the Spanish War of Succession. At the end of the war in 1714, it was deemed that Belgium would become, once again, a territory of Austria. But wait, there's more, because in 1795, Belgium was annexed by France, and once again came under the rule of the French. There was a Belgian rebellion in 1798, but it was swiftly crushed. After Napoleon was defeated in 1815, a map of Europe was redrawn, and Belgium and Holland were united as one country. That's cool and all, but they didn't really like each other, so there was a rebellion, and finally, in the year 1831, Belgium was recognized as an independent state. Belgium was so happy that they were finally independent that they decided they wanted to participate in the scramble for Africa and took a piece of land known as the Belgian Congo in 1885. They proceeded to treat the natives horribly. They enslaved them, having them work hard for no pay. This was not the worst of it, however, as they were collecting rubber, which inflicted many injuries, very few of which were treated. This went on until 1960. Belgium suffered greatly during the two world wars, despite being neutral in both of them. Germany had the same plan both times. They needed to get to France, and this territory is too well guarded, so they went through Belgium instead. During the First World War, Belgium was quickly overrun, despite fighting valiantly, and the Germans committed many war crimes in Belgium. In the Second World War, the Belgians fought hard, but were once again defeated, and despite being liberated in 1944, their country was left in shambles. Now, Belgium is doing well, despite their 5.7% unemployment rate. They're pounding out more waffles than ever, and have an unlimited supply of chocolate at their disposal. And Germans ripped off their flag, so they really can't be doing that bad. With all that said, that was the history of Belgium, in 5 minutes or less.